Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Pickens County Board of County Commissioners regular session on Wednesday, November 4th. I'm Vice Chair Kelly McNicholas Curry. Also in the room with me is Commissioner Patty Clapper, County Manager John Peacock, and Terry Anderson helping us with the Zoom. And joining from home is our Chair Steve Child, Commissioners Postman and Newman, and staff to help us with our agendas today. So good afternoon, and I'll turn it over to our Chair Steve Child.
Okay, thank you, Kelly. You've been a big help this whole time, living near town and being able to go into the county building, which keeps me at home when I have these various symptoms I've been having, so thank you. So today, I think we might have an addition to the agenda. Is that correct, John? Or Rye?
Not that I'm aware of, Steve.
Unless, John...
Or are we going to do that tomorrow at our work session tomorrow, perhaps? Rye, are you there?
Yeah, sorry, Steve, I'm struggling here. Yeah, we can do it during the work session tomorrow.
Okay, that simplifies today then.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, are there any public comments at this time? And I don't see any attendees on right now, but we'll give people a chance to phone in if they wish to make a comment. I mean, we have hardly any agenda on here today, but people are welcome to make their public comments. This is our regular meeting. So not seeing any public comments, so I'll close that. Commissioner comments. Kelly.
Yeah, thanks. A few things. I just want to congratulate and, honor everybody who won their offices and who ran for office. I think anyone who ran for elected office during a pandemic and a recession is incredibly brave, especially first timers. And, just appreciate the added dialogue into our community about the important issues. I also want to honor and congratulate our clerk's office and elections department staff and the hundreds of election judges who really made a historic, successful election in Pickens County. We saw an increase in voter registration, we saw an increase in turnout, and they still were able to, securely and accurately conclude the tabulation of votes last evening, with strong results and reliable results in our community, and it could not have been done without all of that extraordinary effort. And then I also just want to encourage people, I think Americans are weary in a lot of ways right now. We're tired, and but never has there been a time where patience is, I think, more due to trust the decentralized nature of our elections, to trust the hardworking staffs and election judges all over the country that are working really hard to deliver their counts, and to wait peacefully for those results, because we are, I think, at a really pivotal time in our nation where that patience and that trust is more important than ever. So thanks, Steve. That's all I have. You're muted, Steve.
Steve, you're
Patty.
okay. Thank you. Yeah, echo what Kelly just said. Again, I had the honor and the privilege of working with the elections as a judge. Monday, driving to the drop boxes, And this year it was great because it was a beautiful day to be driving this loop from Basalt and back up through Snowmass. I've done it many times in full-on blizzards, so it was really, really it was a great day. And then last night I spent time here verifying signatures, and just the automated systems just continue to impress me, how efficient and effective they are. And I want to thank too all of the county staff and all of the hundreds of judges who stepped up to the plate here to help us get this done. And Steve, I want to congratulate you. I look so forward to working with you for at least 2 more years, if not longer, we don't know. But congratulations. And I sent a message off to Francie Jacober. She's very excited and just can't wait to get started. And she knows she's got a lot of homework to do and a lot of education, and she's really looking forward to that. So I'm excited about where we're going to go as a Board of Commissioners in 2021. And George, I know we know where you live. We know where to find you. So remember that. And I'm just wondering if you're having wild turkey for Thanksgiving. So thanks, guys. Are you having wild turkey for Thanksgiving, George?
I don't think Liz really wants to try to fuck him.
Well, yeah, I could show her some secrets. But anyway, we are still awaiting, as we know, some of the most important results probably was the presidential election. And as Kelly said, let's be patient, hang in there, and be peaceful at the end of the day, whichever side prevails. So we can actually start off 2021 on a very different note. So thank you guys. Thanks for hanging in there this year with all of us. And we still have more work to do. So thank you, Steve, for giving me the time.
You're welcome, Patty. George?
Yeah, again, congratulations, Steve. Congratulations, Francie. Congratulations, Hick.
Oh, yeah.
We'll hopefully have one more congratulations here to bring our country out of this nightmare. And I also want to say I don't know where the status is on our consensus, but it just continues to show the importance of us having an accurate consensus count that hopefully at some point we can look at redistricting and finally, after a decade, get a true representative for our community, which we haven't had for the last 10 years, and we certainly won't have one for the next 2 years. And Kelly, while you got your hand up, Kelly, the other question, was this a record turnout for Pickens County?
Yeah, it was. So the 2016 election had about 10,800 votes, and they're just shy of 12,000. So, registration went up by 1,000 voters, and turnout went up by even more than that. So Pickens County really showed up at the polls.
That's great.
Yeah, it really is
Yeah,
great.
that's great.
And Steve, do you mind if I tag on just one more comment? But to George's
Go ahead,
comment,
Kelly.
so there's 2 redistricting commissions in Colorado that will be appointed and convened to start doing that redistricting work for state districts and the reapportionment work for congressional districts in the coming year. And applications for those districts are still open. So it really is, these are citizen committees where, citizens are encouraged to apply. Elected officials are precluded from sitting on that board. And I've looked through the list of people who have applied, and we do not have a strong applicant pool from our community right now. Up and down the valley. You can search those lists by zip code. So I would just really encourage, I think they close in the middle of this month. So if you are interested in this topic and want to participate in the fair, distribution of population into our districts, then, please, I encourage you to apply for that.
So could an outgoing public elected official apply?
Yes,
Such as
I
Mr.
believe
Newman,
so.
who we want to make sure he's
Yes.
doesn't get bored in retirement?
George, you could apply.
George, you would be really good.
So Kelly, thank you for bringing that up. That is perhaps the most important thing a
That's really-
citizen could do right now to help democracy in our country or in our state for this redistricting process. It's so important. You guys stole all the words I was going to say, thanking all the people who worked on the election. You did just an amazing job. Last night I was thinking, well, maybe there'd be some results pretty soon, and I had just finished eating dinner, and then I had actually gotten a call from a reporter before I had even had a chance to find out that I was, in effect had already won my seat, because the counting, your processing of the ballots was so efficient and just done in such a timely manner. It was really, really incredible, especially given our record turnout. So some people have really expressed an interest in, trying to get engaged in civic things, how to help our community. Some do it by running for office. Anybody can apply to be on one of our citizen advisory boards, and I encourage Chris Council to do that when I talked to him last night on the phone to, if there's one of our advisory boards he's interested in, to apply for it. That goes for any citizen. I know that the senior council our numbers are dwindling. We need more people on the senior council, and there are other advisory boards in the county that, could use some new members, and I urge anybody who's interested in getting engaged in the community, that is a good way to, put your time into helping the community. There are also advisory boards in Snowmass Village and the city of Aspen, I think the town of Basalt also. And I'd like to extend congratulations to Bill Madsen for being elected mayor of the town of Snowmass Village. Bill's dad, George Madsen, and my dad served as county commissioners together many years ago. So Bill and I are both kind of a second generation being involved in the local political scene. Marky Butler did just a really outstanding job in her years as mayor, and we thank her for the service that she put in. Also, congratulations to my former colleague at Carbondale Community School, Francie Jacober, for winning the District 5 seat on the board. Francie and I we taught together, but actually I was teaching first and second graders. She was teaching seventh and eighth graders in the same school, but a lot of the kids that I taught in first and second grade, she later taught in seventh and eighth grade. I really respect her. She's hardworking, very thoughtful, very intelligent, and kind of hard-nosed. Teaching middle schoolers is one of the toughest jobs in the world, I think. And she did an awesome job as a middle school teacher. So I really look forward to sitting on the board with her and kind of getting reacquainted with her in a different, something different than an educational setting. So any other comments from the board right now? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to our one item, consent item, the minutes of October 28th. Was there any changes to those minutes that anybody saw?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Patty, seconded by Kelly to approve those minutes. All in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Aye. Aye, we have 5. George does a thumbs up. Duly noted, George. Let's see, moving on to our open discussion items. Don, or do you have any open discussion items for today?
Steve, I would just note in the paper today, I think you see that some of our neighboring counties are starting to get notifications from the state about having to go into mitigation around COVID-19 because they've had one or more metrics that have exceeded the threshold for the safer at home level that they are in. While we are not at that point right now, certainly our numbers continue to be of concern. Actually, just that one metric right now of the incidence rate per 100,000 continues to go above the threshold and come back down. And we have received notice from the state that they are watching our metrics. As we are, as the board is aware, we've already taken steps for additional mitigation and strengthening the public health order, most significantly reducing the informal group size. But we are going to be watching those numbers, and just a reminder for our community, I know there's a lot of fatigue right now, but this is our off season. This is when we need to get our numbers lower. So continuing to follow those 5 commitments of containment, avoiding those informal group settings that may put you at risk of getting infected. It is so important if we're going to have our winter this winter and be able to have some semblance of normalcy. So our numbers have remained a little bit more constant, but the state and what's happening in our neighboring communities is concerning, and we may not be far behind if we really don't double down on our efforts. So I just want to note that and where we are right now. That's all I have.
Just a reminder to people, I meant to say this during my comments, that the simplest things that people can do to prevent the spread of the virus are the ones that we've been recommending, which is wearing a mask when you're around other people, maintaining a social distance of at least 6 feet, and washing your hands frequently. Also, staying home when you're feeling sick, go get tested if you have symptoms that are COVID-like symptoms. And those are the simple steps. And that reminds me, John, could you tell a little bit about the testing sites that we have and the kind of the procedure for that people need to follow for getting tested now?
Yeah, so we do have a number of options really throughout the state, and if you'll give me just a second, Steve, I'm going to pop out to our website and try and share my screen. Are you seeing? Okay. So on our COVID website, under basics, there is information on getting tested. We will be updating this and including the symptoms that individuals should be looking for to get tested. Right now, AVH is providing testing with an appointment that can either be done through your primary care physician or if you don't have a primary care physician, calling this number 970-279-4111. Today you'll be seeing an update Aspen Valley Hospital has added 5 days of testing in Basalt. This is leveraging the testing that the state has provided, the curative tests. And so as you call that number, you will either be scheduled for a visit at Aspen Valley Hospital or in Basalt. The location in Basalt 5 days a week does not require a doctor's referral. In addition, the state has provided the county with a number of free COVID tests through the end of the year. We're working with the state to get a kiosk, which we will look at placing in the Aspen area within the next 2 weeks. That will also provide free testing without a doctor's referral. We'll be putting more information out on these options. And then in addition, there are a number of testing sites that are listed on our website, www.covid19.pickingcounty.com, and you can go through and get information on all of these private practices or public testing options.
Kelly?
Thanks. Yeah, John, given the good news about the school district, it brought a question up for me, and that is, which organizations, or are any organizations doing like surveillance style testing here in the Valley? So,
we've been doing it for higher risk congregate settings. So we've been doing asymptomatic testing with, for example, our homeless population in the jail, etc. We are working with a group of employers to expand testing, which would be targeted asymptomatic testing as well as symptomatic testing, and that's a partnership that I'm hoping to talk a little bit more about tomorrow. The tests that the school district received through the state were, a great addition. Originally, the county had only been allocated 1,000 of those tests for underserved populations. I think the state, particularly with the recent surge, has really made those tests more broadly available now to communities throughout the state. So we are trying to take advantage of that. We're glad that the school's been able to take advantage of that testing through the end of the year. But most organizations are going to do targeted asymptomatic testing versus the broader based, and then really focus on the symptomatic testing.
okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Steve, I have a question.
Yes, Patty.
Yeah, and John, I think it's great that the school district has, rallied to do this, because of other school districts we've been watching where they've had to open and close, open and close, open and close. I think that continuity and consistency for the teachers and the students is important. I'm just hoping we can work together with the school district as far as monitoring the numbers, because I think that's important for our overall health of our community. And that will also benefit the parents that go to the grocery store and the kids that want to go have activities at the recreation center, if we have a better picture of where our numbers stand. So I'm hoping we might be able to work something out with the school district to get us in line and on track with some continuity and consistency in our reporting.
Yeah, so we had a coordination call with employers, including the schools in the Valley and the school district this morning. And so getting those information points linked up is important for us. And we're sharing information back and forth on best practice and such now. We're going to be very interested to see, the school's going to be the first one out with a number of these tests that the state has provided, so we'll get a sense of the turnaround times and that sort of thing too. So Yep, we are working through those issues. Obviously, a lot changed over a few days late last week, and so we're working to get coordinated now.
Yeah,
with
and
those
speaking of
changes.
turnaround times, that's always been a concern for me because I've been tested 3 times, not because I had symptoms, but because of procedures. But it's the hardest part, is the waiting. You know, when you're told it's a rapid test and 72 hours later, you're still waiting for your results. And I know we're working on that, especially with upping the numbers of tests we're doing. How's that burdening the labs to process? And I know we've been working on that, but that's a concern because, I mean, it's important for people who are tested for symptoms know that they have to quarantine until the results of their tests are back. And it's different when you're asymptomatic, so we need to try and come up with some kind of process and, you know, management of that too. And hopefully we can get the labs to kick in as we're kicking in the numbers of tests.
Yeah, so the the turnaround times will continue to be a challenge. We're looking at options that we think will provide pretty reliable 24 to 48 hour turnaround times. We have found with some issues, if the labs aren't close enough to use a courier service, but we're using a delivery, whether it be a FedEx or UPS, that sometimes there's a hang up on getting the samples to the lab. And so we are trying to work through all those logistics and be a little bit more strategic about where labs are located and such
Right,
too.
thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, John, for that update. I think now is the time we need to adjourn from our regular meeting and start our work session.
And Steve, if we
right
could,
on time for 12:30.
yeah, we may want to take a little break to give grassroots an opportunity to change graphics and that sort of thing. They probably don't need this much time, but I think maybe a 5-minute break, it'll have us start just a touch late, but it'll give us a chance for a clean start with grassroots.
Are we going to stay on this Zoom link?
Yeah.
We'll keep this. Okay, so I won't log off. Thanks.
At least I'm planning to. I hope everyone else is too.
So I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Okay, moved by Patty, seconded by Kelly to adjourn the regular meeting. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, see you in 5 minutes.